Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying that maybe you can like say some stuff about yourself, just introduction.
All right. So my name is Dr. Andy Gaertner. I am a general dentist working out of Bliss Dental here in Miami, and yeah, pretty much what I wanted to do is just open up the doors to of our office to you guys, because I know sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming and kind of a mystery of what the actual dental world looks like as a student. So Maya, you can probably like give some thoughts on as well to the other students on what it is that you kind of saw over here. And yeah, I would be more than happy to answer any questions that anybody may have. And that's pretty much it. I'm not the greatest in introductions, but I'm ready for questions.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I started shadowing at Bliss Dental. I think it was during the summer. I shadowed at another clinic as well. I don't think I got the best experiences from there, just because it like you can definitely see the difference in the practices and the quality of the dentists themselves. So it's been like a great experience. I've learned so much, and yeah, it's very helpful. Okay, so if you guys want to start like asking questions, you can either unmute yourself or just put them in the chat. And
I guess I'll go first. I've got some background noise, so please bear with me. But Dr. Gartner, firstly, I was kind of curious to ask, where did you go to university, and also, what was it that made you? Well, let me rephrase that. Did you always want to be a general dentist, or were there some kind of deviations on the way to choosing to be a general dentist?
So first part of the question, I went to Nova Southeastern, right over here. And my dad is a dentist, so I kind of grew up in the whole dental world. At first, I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field, and as time went on, I kind of started to see and hear how amazing of a profession dentistry actually is, and it kind of yeah, started slowly just come together. Yeah, so I started knowing that I wanted to be a dentist, and then as time went on, I knew for sure that I wanted to stay a general dentist rather than starting to specialize in any specific field of dentistry. I don't know, I saw a question, but it kind of disappeared. So I don't really know how to use this Zoom yet. So I'm an amateur trying to understand the concept.
if actually you can press the chat, I think if you put more, it should show up. But if not, I can read them for you.
The chat, let me see. Oh yeah, hold on. I think I saw it. Okay, chat. What are some challenges of the profession? Mrs. Betsy Rodriguez Ramos. Okay, so there's many challenges, and every phase of the journey comes with its own challenge. So for you guys, I think the main challenge is not to be overwhelmed and just to stay focused on your goals and on what you want to achieve, and not to give up, even though the journey may seem long and unknown and all of that and scary. So just kind of get your grades up, keep them up, and do what you got to do to get into any dental school. And then as it goes on, the dental school can also be a little bit scary. They're going to teach you many, many things that you probably will never need, but that you're going to have to learn, unfortunately. And then the challenges, there's many challenges. So you're going to be very young, more than likely, most of you guys starting out as a dentist. So the main challenge is to be confident and not to let some patients intimidate you, because it can be a little bit scary. What is the day in the life? It can be a little bit scary when you're talking to like an older patient or a patient that is like very demanding when you're so young. Can be a little bit intimidating. So you just have to stay confident. I'm trying to come up with answers as I go, but otherwise the challenge is pretty much as an owner of your own practice. The questions keep on coming, so I'm going to try and hurry up with that one. But as the owner of a practice, the big challenge is to be able to multitask. I mean, the way that I run my practice is that I want to make sure that everybody gets treated in the ultimate way, pretty much the best way possible. I don't want anybody to wait in the waiting room. I want to make sure, as Maya and other students can probably testify, but I want to make sure that the music is always on and that the mood is always right. So the thing is, there is a staff that you need to be on top of to make sure that everybody follows the right, the same type of values and little details that I've created in the office. So that's pretty much it. Otherwise, challenging wise, every procedure has its own challenges, but with experience, you're going to get more and more comfortable with that. To me, the main challenge is that I want to make sure that everybody leaves with a good experience. People hate the dentist, so I'm trying to change that slowly in a non quirky way, one tooth at a time, pretty much. Okay, let me go to the next question here. What is the day in the life look like for a general dentist? Noor Halwani. I don't know if I'm supposed to be reading the names, but anyways, the day in the life of a dentist is pure amazingness. The thing is, if you do it because you love it, you're just going to be happy all the time. It's true that to own a practice, it can be a little bit stressful to make sure that everything runs smoothly and all that. But as far as the profession goes, there is zero stress. So you're not threatening the life of anybody. If you do things the right way, people are not really going to be in too much discomfort, or you're not going to be on call. I always leave my cell phone here on the answering machine, and it's very rare that people call me, at 2 a.m. It doesn't really happen. So when I leave the office, you can just enjoy your life, and we live in an amazing city. So yeah, it's just paradise. And then when you get satisfaction of what you do, it's very rewarding, and you can, when you have patients that give you positive feedback, you can just, you just think about that all the time. So that's the life of a general dentist. But for me, I'm fortunate enough to have a brother and a sister that are dentists too, and a dad. So we pretty much share this passion constantly. Okay, so hope that answered the question. Let me go to the next one. What are your opinions on specializing in orthodontics? Do you think they will be in demand with all the new technology being implemented, such as Invisalign, in the future? Nicolas Peña. So that's a very good question. To me, can you guys hear me? Or, because I feel like it's like a monologue.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a very good question, and I'm gonna give you guys my opinion, but it doesn't mean that it's the right opinion. But personally, I never wanted to specialize in anything. So I didn't want to be an orthodontist. I didn't want to be a periodontist, an endodontist. I just wanted to stick to general dentistry, and I'm so happy I did because you can do anything you want. So I actually do many Invisalign cases, and I love it. If I would have specialized, I would have been stuck into only being able to do either conventional braces or Invisalign. But what if I love doing cosmetic dentistry or root canals? I wouldn't be able to. So personally, I would not. I mean, I'm happy I didn't. But if someone knows that that's all they want to do and that they're passionate about orthodontics or endodontics like root canals, then of course you should specialize. The only thing is it's 2 or 3 more years of school, and yeah, I was really ready to get in there and start working. So that's my opinion about that. Regarding the future with the technology, yes, there's going to be a lot of digital scanning coming up and all that, but it's just going to make it more accessible for the general dentist to be able to do what the specialists do. But don't take this the wrong way. I still refer to many specialists. I only do the procedures that I know I'm comfortable in doing as well as any specialist, if not better. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing these type of cases. So let me go to the next question. Hold on. This is a little bit difficult because I'm doing this with my phone because the iPad wouldn't work, but let me see. If you encounter difficulties during your undergrad career, would you say it's wise to disclose such difficulties during an interview or focus on the positive aspects of your career? Okay, I'm not gonna read names, but this was a very good question. I mean, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask advice about interviews, but one of the things is, and I think I have shared my feeling with some students that have come here. I'm gonna try and pose the camera here so you guys don't get headaches here. Hold on. Okay. You know, dental schools get so many applicants, and most applicants are going to get almost perfect GPAs, and they're going to look perfect kind of like on the books. So I think during the interview process, it's very important that you show your human aspects and that you kind of show the people that will interview you why you would be a good dentist, why patients would be happy having you as a dentist. So I would probably take the more personal approach. If you've had difficulties during your undergrad period, and it's something that you can share that's going to shed some positive light on yourself, then for sure I would do it. But if it's not necessary, or if you think that it's going to like harm the interview process, then I wouldn't. Your main goal is to get in. So, you know, try to do the interview as best as you can. Okay, so let me see. Chat. Okay, hold on. How has COVID-19 impacted your office? All right. In a very, very scary way. COVID impacted everybody in a scary way. So it's still scary. For some reason, I don't really think it was the right move, but we were not allowed to open. So we had to close and shut down. And why do I not think it was the right move? Is because we are essential workers in a way. And I know for a fact that some chiropractors and all that could stay open because they considered them as essential workers. So we had to close, and we had to close for 2 months straight, and it was a disaster. and it was very scary because we didn't know how long we would have to stay closed for. So it was very scary. Anyways, they allowed us to open up again, so we had to implement all safety measures, which made things a little bit difficult, but now we got used to it, and it's the new normal. You know, we installed a lot of air filters, we have questionnaires, we sanitize everybody. People that we have doubts on, we reschedule them, and that's it. This is the new normal, unfortunately. Hope this kind of answered the question. Sorry, I'm trying to pose this camera here, but it doesn't want to cooperate. Hold on. How hard is it to practice or find a job in South Florida without speaking Spanish? Very good question. So I don't speak Spanish, and I work out of the heart of Kendall, where a lot of people don't speak English, and we make it happen. So I actually interviewed in a place. I've worked in many offices before opening my own office. One of the offices I worked out of, one of the requirements was that I had to speak Spanish. It was an office in the middle of Doral, and the owner of the office didn't speak English. And I went for the interview, and he hired me. And then, you know, I mean, I speak French, so it's a little bit similar to Spanish in a way that we can somehow communicate with gestures, you know, and I know how to say toothache and stuff like that. But as long as you sit in front of the patient and you show them that you care, I mean, most of my staff speaks Spanish, so we're able to kind of find a way to understand each other, and that's it. Yes, it's a little bit of a disadvantage not to speak Spanish in Miami, but it is what it is. I don't think it makes it more difficult necessarily to find a job. Let me see. Okay. Hope I'm answering your questions correctly, but hold on. Okay. Wow. Okay. So how long after you graduated Nova did it take for you to open your own practice? Okay. This is a very, I mean, it's a good question, but it's a unique, my path is my path. So it took me a very long time. What happened is that after Nova, I immediately started working as an associate. I was fortunate enough to find one of the offices that was very, very busy, so I got a lot of experience. And then 3 years after, I decided to move back to my home country of Belgium in Europe, where my dad has a practice. So I actually missed my family, I missed my hometown, and I wanted to go back. So my dad has a practice where my mom is working and my sister is working. So I just wanted to go back. So I went back. The plan was to stay there permanently. But then after 2 years, I started missing Miami, and I thought the future was in the US. So I made my way back, and I wanted to come back after having found a practice of my own. So I was looking, I couldn't find the right fit. So I worked out of 2 or 3 different practices. And anyways, finally I found the right practice in 2017. So to answer your question, 9 years it took me to have my own practice. Okay, how is the experience different working for an associate office versus your own private practice? This is a very good question. So dental-wise, meaning clinical-wise, there is absolutely no difference. However, from a non-dental perspective, it is different. It comes with a lot of different types of responsibilities. When you own your own practice, you need to make sure that the finances are right, that you're staying on top of your staff, that every single thing in the practice gets done in a consistent manner. When you're an associate, you don't really have much say. So you can say several things, but you pretty much don't have control about the other aspects that I just mentioned. You just have to do your dentistry, and depending on what type of office you work out of, you're going to have to respect and follow the rules of what the owner wants you to kind of follow. Okay, so let me continue with some of these questions because they keep on coming. Alexa, have a wonderful evening. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try and answer these a little bit quicker because they keep on coming, the questions. So did you take a gap year at any point in undergrad? What is your opinion on a break from school? I did not take a gap year. And for me, I didn't want to take a break from school because I know that if I would have taken a break, the transition back to the whole academic atmosphere would have been, for me, almost impossible. So once you're in the groove of things, I would just kind of keep on going until you're ready to work. And then you can take a gap year if you want, you can breathe, you can relax. But my experience is better not to, but if you have to, then do it. Okay, next question. Wow, where was I? Did you take? Okay, what in your opinion are the most important skills for a dentist to have during their practice, outside of the things taught in school? Okay, this is important skills. Okay, so important skills is pretty much being a caring human being. That's my answer. Pretty much, if you want the best for the patient, whatever skills you're lacking, you will learn quickly, and it's very easy. You just have to do things the right way. If you do things the right way, and when I say that, I know it sounds kind of vague, but if you want what's best for the patient, everything comes. I hope this kind of answered that question. It's a little bit vague, but I hope it did the trick. Do you guys want to, okay, I'm going to continue a little bit, or if you guys want to stop me at any moment, feel free to do so.
No, I think you're good.
Okay. Yeah. So, what are the main responsibilities of running a practice? Could you please summarize how it works? Okay. So it's probably far away from you guys, and I don't know, I'm going to try and get into it a little bit, but I know there's several other steps before you get to this stage. But what are the responsibilities? Okay, it's very simple. You need to make sure that, number one, obviously the dentistry has to be done right. Okay, but having said that, pretty much financially, you have to make sure that what comes in is not more than what goes out. So you have to make sure that the overhead is pretty stable, that you're trying to stay on top of all the expenses, that you don't pretty much spend unnecessarily. So you need to make sure that you stay on top of that. You need to make sure that you hire the right staff. It takes time. Tell me. Somebody said something? No? I don't know. Okay, so you need to make sure that you stay on top of all of that. I don't know who's saying something, but
someone's echoing.
Okay, so these are some of the responsibilities. Where was that question? Okay, the main thing is to be able to multitask and to make sure that everything flows and that every single patient experience is good. That's the main responsibility. How hard is it? Okay, I already answered that question. How is the experience? I already answered that one, I think. How long does it take to pay off $400,000 of student loans? Okay, how long does it take? Well, it depends on what type of opportunities you find and what type of dentist you become. How much are you able to produce? And that's it. And I know it's very scary, all these numbers. It's completely crazy. And unfortunately, in this country, this is what it is. pretty much you're bankrupt before starting working. So that's how it is. Honestly, we're in a good profession, so how long does it take? It depends. 400,000 is a lot of money. It depends. I don't have a straight answer. It could take 10 years, but I don't want to say everybody does it, but most people are in that position and most people are able to do it. So I would not focus too much on that number. It's very crazy, but it's definitely payable. Wait, back to meeting. Hold on. Okay. So that was, okay. What would you say are the first steps to starting a successful practice? I don't want to sound boring and always repeating the same answers, but I really mean it. The first step is just doing it for the right reasons. Then, once you're in it for the right reasons and you know what's important, the first steps into having a successful practice is pretty much taking your time, caring for every single patient the right way, and then the referrals are going to start coming. So from my personal experience, I had like a vision of what I wanted Bliss Dental to be. I wanted it to be kind of like a brand. I wanted for it to have like a catch, a nice word that helps, desensitize people of what they already, of their terrible views of the dentist. So myself, I kind of came up with that name and with the concept of modern, clean, pain-free dentistry, patients. And yeah, one happy patient becomes one happy family, one happy community, and it goes quick. People start talking. And now with the internet, with the social media, there's so much potential for referrals and exposure. So again, if you do things the right way, your office is going to be successful and it's going to be more and more busy. However, if you do things the wrong way, and there's many offices that I hear of where I don't know, it's kind of I consider it as a business. I met a new patient Friday, and she came in for the first time, and she thanked me. She actually told me, these are her words. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I met you." And I asked her, "What do you mean by that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've never met the actual dentist before." And I told her, "Okay, what, like at any appointment, even on the first appointment when you go?" "No, I never met him." So you have these places where I wonder how these type of practices can even be semi-successful. So if you do things like, for example, there's a lot of dental offices where the dentist doesn't spend time, where the staff is very aggressive, very money hungry, very fishy, where the dentist actually hurts the patient. So if you give a bad experience like that, even though I said social media and internet is very good, on the other hand, it can also destroy somebody's reputation. So again, if you do things for the right reason, you're going to be successful no matter what, in my opinion. So for the 2 years you were in Belgium, were you practicing? If so, what was the process like finding work in Europe? So I actually went for 3 years, and my dad has a practice, so it was very easy to find a job. I had to kind of do 1 more year of school where I couldn't work full time at my dad's office, so I worked at a friend of his, and then for me it was very easy. Yeah. So let me go to the next question here. When considering which dental school to apply for, which factors were the most important to ensure were included in the program? For example, location, ranking of schools, what do you think is the most important things to consider when determining? Okay. So this is a very good question. There's many dental schools. I think I applied to 11 of them. It depends where you wanna live, where you wanna stay. I wanted to stay in Florida, so I applied to Nova and UF at that moment, like 11 years ago. No, actually more than 11 years ago. Wow, I'm getting old here. 15 years ago or something like that. There was only 2 dental schools in Florida, so I applied to both. But I also applied to Tufts, and I don't even remember which ones. I applied to 11. From my experience, and I really mean it, it doesn't matter what dental school you go to. If it's UPenn, Harvard, or in the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, I don't know, sometimes you can do like transfers, it doesn't matter. Get your license, period, and that's it. And then you're gonna start working and you're gonna start molding. Sorry, I just have to, I'm not gonna answer, but I'm gonna write this number down. As you see, when I'm in the office, unfortunately, work never ends. Okay, so just become a dentist and then you're gonna become the dentist you wanna be. In dental school, and I don't wanna criticize all dental schools, but you're not really gonna learn, you're gonna learn the basics, but you're not really gonna learn much. Afterwards, 3, 4, 5 years afterwards, is when you're gonna really feel comfortable into becoming your own dentist. So pretty much get your license so you're able to work. Don't apply to one dental school. If you don't get in, you're gonna have to wait another year. Apply to as many as you can. I know it's expensive to apply as well. Still, apply to as many as you can, wherever you think that you have the most chances of getting into. How difficult and different was the transition from dental school to working in an actual clinic? Very good question, Maya. So let me answer that. Pretty much, it depends on what office you find. I'm gonna be honest with you. There has been 1 or 2 offices that it wasn't good for me from the point, meaning what I mean by that is pretty much I found too high end of practices when I wasn't ready enough to get in these type of practices. So when I finished dental school, one of my first offices was actually in a Kmart, high volume practice. So that was amazing. And I was working alongside 3, 4, 5 different dentists. So when I had questions, they were there to help me and stuff like that. I also worked in a high-end office where in South Beach, where the dentist was willing to kind of also answer my questions. But later on, I actually started working in some offices, and I wasn't ready for that. Even though I thought I wasn't. You know, sometimes you have these high-end patients, and they look at you. I looked like I was 12. So the transition in these type of practices were a little bit more difficult. Okay, let me see. How easy, difficult would you say it is for an office to hire you fresh from dental school? Okay, Mrs. Melanie, very good question. I'm gonna be honest with you. At this moment, I'm looking for a dentist. At this current moment, I'm looking for an associate dentist to help me because it's too crazy for me to handle all of that by myself. And one of the requirements is at least 5 years out of school. For me, for right now. However, I know many offices where it's pretty easy to find a job right out of school, where it doesn't really matter. It's just the type of practice that I'm running. I actually had an associate before the corona, and you know, the associate had experience, but I wish she had more experience. So right now I want to make sure that when I find the associate, I can just relax and know that they can perform kind of as fast and with the same type of results as me. So I'm trying to get someone to kind of, even though I love to teach and I love to show everything, I don't want to have someone to be able to, I don't have the time right now to really sit down and teach everything, but there's many offices that, to answer your question, I don't think it's much of a challenge. It's a little bit more difficult, but I don't think it's much of a challenge. Okay. What did you do in particular to overcome the transitional obstacle? Again, very good question, Maya. Very simple answer. You gotta work. You gotta be confident and you gotta work. You have to not be scared of doing procedures that you're not comfortable doing. There's always gonna be a first time doing anything. Even in dental school, when you're gonna have to numb somebody for the first time, you know, people shake. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Nothing can happen. You're not gonna kill anybody. Worst case, you're gonna hurt a little bit. You're gonna pinch somebody a little bit. But if you don't do it, you're never gonna learn. If you do a filling, worst case, it's not gonna be 100% smooth. It's not gonna be 100% right. But you can never do something bad, because however bad you do something, you have to own up to it, and you will redo it and you will redo it until it's 100% right. And the patients, they appreciate that. They appreciate the honesty and they want the perfect result in a way. So to overcome these obstacles, you just have to work and be confident, and you have to dare, and you have to try and do new things that you have not been, that you're not comfortable with. Okay. Do I recommend doing AGD or a GPR program out of school? So I didn't do it. My brother didn't do it. My sister did one. So it depends on what your thoughts are. Personally, I don't think it's necessary at all, because you're going to delay going into the real world by another year. Even though you're going to gain experience, it's still going to be in the school setting. So I'm more the type of a dentist that I consider myself pretty much, I know that I can do something if I jump into something. So if you're going to do an AGD or a GPR, you're just going to be next to teachers again that are going to teach you, and you're going to be doing like slower dentistry in a faculty type of scenery. Whereas if you actually start working in the right type of practice, what I mean by that is a high volume where you actually will learn from your own mistakes, and where you're going to become faster on your own. I think it's better personally to do that. Now, my sister did the GPR because she wasn't sure where she wanted to live. So she did one in New York for romantic purposes. Her boyfriend was over there at the time. That's the only reason. But otherwise, I don't think she would have done that. And I don't regret, I don't think it's necessary to do an AGD. If you're a foreign trained dentist, you don't have a choice. You're going to have to do an AGD. Hope this answered your question. By the way, before I continue, I think you guys already know all of that, but my doors are open for every single one of you guys, and I really mean it. You just have to call the office and to see when it would be good. And so I'm saying that because even when you become a dentist, this can be considered an AGD. If you just come and you sit next to me, like for example, Maya was here today and she was sitting right next to me when I was doing some exciting laser dentistry. And this is what you're going to be doing in an AGD for 1 year. So why, there's many offices like mine where I'm sure the dentist will not mind having students or fellow dentists shadow. So nowadays you also have YouTube, and you have so many things where you can learn on your own that I wouldn't waste a year. Plus, there was a question with the $400,000 debt. Okay, so start paying that off. So my personal preference is not to consider an AGD. Okay, did you have any negative experience experiences with a patient when starting out? And if so, how did you resolve it? Okay, time to become honest, as if I wasn't honest enough already. But absolutely, many difficult experiences. One of the main one is, I mean, I was looking, I know I still look very young, thank you everybody, but I was looking very, very young. I looked like I was 17 when I was 23 coming out of school. So yeah, I had many patients look at me like I'm, you know, the assistant preparing the room or something like that. Some patients did not want to see me. So, you know, a lot of patients ask me, how old are you? So, you know, I try to joke with them. Yeah, you know, I'm 12 and, you know, how many times have you done this procedure? So many times people asking me that. So even though it was the first time, I actually said it. Yeah, actually, you're going to be my first. I'm going to try on you. You know, you just kind of joke with them and you learn how to kind of answer and in a confident manner. But otherwise, yes, of course, I've had many experiences that I had to learn from. Fortunately, I have a dad that I can always call. So, you know, sometimes when you inject somebody the wrong way, if you give an injection and it's not being done the right way, you can actually cause a little bit of a Bell's palsy where, you know, they cannot close their eye and the mouth is droopy and stuff like that. So I've had that happen one time and I freaked out. So immediately I ran in the back, called my dad. Oh my God. So, you know, you learn from that. So yes, many experiences, and I can share them in way more detail whenever you guys want. Okay, next question. Do dental schools like when you have shadowed different types of dentists, like general dentist, orthodontist, pediatric dentist? Okay, so there are no rules on what dental schools like. Yes, my answer is yes, but it's very simple. And I said that to many students that have come here. You have to be lucky. You're going to have one dean of administration who's going to decide everything. In some dental schools, you're going to have two, a committee of 3 or 4, whatever. But it's very subjective. It's pretty much one person that decides. So yes, as much shadowing and experiences and volunteering that you can put on your resume, the best. The better, you know, the better, the more you have, the better. However, it's going to depend a lot, I think, on the actual interview. And, you know, I would try and meet these deans to kind of talk with them and to kind of become friendly with them to, you know, affect their opinion so that they would get you in. Okay. Thank you. With pleasure, Betsy. You finished dental school at 23. I don't think so. I just said that like that without thinking. I finished dental school not at 23. I was 18 plus 2, sorry, wrong information. I think I was 25 or something like that. So pretty much 4 years of college, 4 years of dental school. I was 18, so 4 plus 4, 26, 25 I was. Does anybody want to kind of, you know, say something so I won't hear my voice anymore for a second? Anybody has any comments? Daniela, Alexa, Catherine, Nicholas, Ashley, Alessandra, Tammy, Sophia, Celine, Flavia.
I have a
I
question.
don't know. Yes.
So how much were you involved with ASDA before, you know, in your undergrad career or during dental school?
How long was I what?
How was your involvement with ASDA? Were you involved?
No, I was not. Personally, I was not.
Okay.
Not too much.
Did you
Like
ever
in
do
dental,
it? As in,
wait,
like, during dental school?
was I involved in ASDA in dental school? Was that your
Yes.
question?
Yes.
I was not. I'm not saying I'm the right example, but I was not. Dental school was already, I studied like crazy, and yeah, I didn't want to deal with too many more things. So personally, I was not, but I think it's a good thing to be involved for sure.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I have a question. So,
Go ahead.
so what did your day consist of when you went to Nova as a student?
Okay, every year is different, but a lot of studying, a little bit of having fun. The dental students are known to kind of that we have to decompress a little bit. So a little bit of having fun, but it was a lot of studying. Yeah, that's it, to be honest with you. Second year, you start seeing patients a little bit. So yeah, a lot of studying. That's what it was for 4 years. Hope it answered your question.
Did you work on real patients or on mannequins?
Well, for the first 2 years at Nova, you work on mannequins, and then year 3 and 4, you work on actual patients in the clinic.
Did you have a routine in place to kind of cope with the stress and having to study and all, and like fitting your personal life?
Did I have a what?
Like a routine set, some kind of ritual, I don't know, something that you would do, like how would you break up your day or something?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a challenge. Just you have to think, you have to not give up pretty much and think on what you want from all of this studying and all that. What do you want? You want to have your license. So however annoying it is, however difficult it is, if you study and you pass your test, you're gonna, the passing rate in this country is completely amazing. It's like 90-something% passing rate. So as long as you get in dental school, more than likely you're gonna pass. So just keep on telling that to yourself. And when you guys get in, if you need extra motivation, feel free to call me and I'll help you. Okay, hold on. There's some other questions that I have to read here. Okay, do dental school. Did you work while in dental school? Good question. What was your major for undergrad? Okay, so major for undergrad, it was biology. And did you work while in dental school? I should have. It would have helped me with my loans, but I did not. It was, and respect to every single one that will be working while in dental school, because it takes a lot of time and energy to get through dental school. So I did not work. I just focused on studying and decompressing, playing sports when I could, and yeah, just pretty much I did not work. Does anybody have an actual voice question? That way I don't have to go and open the chat thing.
You could go first, whoever was about to ask a question.
Hi, so my name is Ashley, and I wanted to know if you're like currently taking any students to shadow in your office. Yeah,
absolutely. Anytime, just call the office. The number, I don't know if you have a pen, but you can find the number, blissdentalmiami.com. It's 305-274-6500. Call just to make sure that we don't have any patients on the schedule that may be a little bit problematic, because I don't want you to come for nothing. And we want to make sure that there's a couple of like cool procedures for you guys to watch. And whenever you guys call, if there's something specific that you want to see, like whatever it may be, I don't know, cosmetic dentistry, surgery, root canal, whatever, just ask it to the people that answer the phone, and we'll tell you when we have these procedures so you can come and watch that.
Okay, thank you.
With pleasure.
I have a question regarding post interviews. So let's say your interview goes good and you get accepted. How does like when do you start? Is it bi-yearly that they start that students start, or is it yearly? Or
I think, honestly, it's a little bit a long time ago, so I don't want to give you the wrong information, but I think it's yearly. But feel free to interrupt me, whoever, if I'm saying the wrong things, but I think it's yearly. But I think they have phases of interviews where it could be 2 or 3 times per year, but the actual school starts once per year, I think, from what I remember.
It is yearly. So you would typically interview the year before you would typically interview the year before you plan to start, and then you would start that following year afterwards. So if you were interviewing this year, you would be starting next fall in 2021.
so you want to interview your junior year? Oh,
Most commonly, yes. Most commonly, if not your senior year.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think I interviewed on my junior year, I think, from what I remember.
Could you be taking classes the summer before you start? Like if you get accepted junior year?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I was actually accepted in like a unique program. So I'm gonna explain to you real quick. I think they may still be offering that. Yeah, I don't know. It was called the Dual Admissions Program at Nova. So pretty much I got into college knowing that I would have my spot in dental school waiting for me if I met some requirements, such as having a GPA above, I don't remember, I think it was 2.7 or something like that. And I had to take, so it was a 3+4 program. It was only 3 years of college with a guaranteed place in dental school. So I was accepted in that, coming from Belgium, from high school. So I knew that my place in dental school was waiting for me, pretty much. So when I said that I applied in all of these schools, actually, I'm going to rephrase that. I applied in all of these colleges, and I got accepted at Nova in the dual admissions program. So I don't really know much about the specifics, because for me, it was luckily, it was a very unique experience.
They still do that. If you have like a certain GPA out of high school, you can get into the dual admissions program at Nova, and from freshman year you already get your spot guaranteed into dental school. Obviously you have to meet the GPA those all the years of your undergrad, but you basically do undergrad in 3 years, something like that, and then you start dental school. But I think only Nova offers it. I'm not sure about other schools. It's a good program.
And I think now it became very, very difficult to get in that. Back in the days, it was easier. So actually, I think my sister got into that program as well. So we were lucky. But yeah, now I think it's very hard to get into these type of programs. So,
yeah,
but it's okay.
GPA from high school and then maintain it, like the certain GPA in college, so your spot doesn't, like, they don't take it away. But yeah, it's a very good program.
Yeah. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Let's do this.
What would you say were some of the characteristics that made you stand out as a dental student?
The characteristics of what?
That made you stand out. So, you know, in your undergrad, what made you stand out to get accepted into dental school?
Okay.
Even though you knew that your spot was saved.
Even though what?
Even though you knew your spot was saved. I mean, like, you know, like what would you say that made you stand out, but you already knew in your specific case that, you know, your spot was already saved for dental school?
So for me, I did not have to really interview after to get into dental school, but what made me get accepted into that dual admissions program is, number one, pure luck. And then I think I was a little bit different than the majority of applicants because I was coming from Europe. I have a dental background coming from a dental family. So I think maybe they wanted somebody a little bit different. So that's that could be an explanation, but you don't need to be coming from Belgium, obviously to get in. You just have to be your own self, and just that's why I said it's not enough to have a good GPA and to be good like on the books, to have complete like a 4.0 GPA is not enough, unfortunately. It's actually, it doesn't really impress them that much because there's so many applicants with 4.0 GPAs. And don't worry, I had far from a 4.0, but if, for example, you have a 2.9 or a 3.1 and you're shadowing dentists and you show that you're truly passionate and that you're made to become a dentist and that you're very sociable and that you want to do it for the right reasons and that you're going to be a good student and a positive influence for the other students at the school and that you're going to bring, bring a good element to the dental school, then I think that's what you need to do. Just my own advice and my own, from my past experiences.
So you said you had to keep up with the GPA requirement. Did you have to take the DAT?
Yes, absolutely. And one of the requirements was that I had to have a minimum score on that DAT and that I couldn't have a D in any class. So there were a couple of requirements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had to take the DAT and it was fun, a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
What do you think was the most difficult year in dental school and why?
I don't know who asked that question, but it's a very good question. I want to say year one, just to get used to the system and to know how everything kind of functions. And I also want to say year 4 in a way, because you need to take the board. And it's a lot of stress because you need to pass the board. So I think year 1 and 4, but honestly, and don't think that I'm talking as if I'm a genius or, from a point that I'm like superior to anybody, not at all. But like I said, there is a passing rate of over 90%. So nothing is necessarily like too difficult. Everybody kind of passes. You just have to work on your own mind not to be overwhelmed, and then you're going to do great. Anybody else?
Good evening, Dr. Gaertner. What do you enjoy doing outside of dentistry?
All right. I enjoy soccer big time. I'm a big soccer player, and this Corona killed me with that. So I haven't been playing, I want to say like 6 months or something. So that's been very tough. And besides that, I love the music scene and Miami. I'm so blessed being able to live in this country. Friends, family, that's what I love. Just enjoying life, enjoying what Miami has to offer. The water, beach, relaxing. Hope this answered your question. And dentistry. Believe it or not, I don't consider it work. So even when I leave this office, I love watching cases, talking about dentistry with colleagues, with family. Yeah. So this is what I enjoy doing.
Thank you very much.
With pleasure. What's your favorite procedure to do on patients currently? Very good question. Okay, favorite procedure. So I am a big fan of cosmetic dentistry. Cosmetic dentistry is a big, broad, vague term. It can mean anything. So pretty much I consider even doing a filling on a back tooth cosmetic dentistry sometimes, because I take pride into trying to make them beautiful. So But the reality is, let's say I have an aesthetic case with veneers and stuff like that. I really enjoy that. Sometimes I enjoy, so that's why I love being a general dentist, is because you can vary and do different procedures all the time. So sometimes I enjoy doing crowns, but if I do 3-4 crowns back to back, and then I see like a root canal, I enjoy doing that. So cosmetic dentistry is really, I think, what I was born to do, but I enjoy everything, really. Surgeries, I enjoy everything. Other questions, or did I answer everything?
Hi. Uh, Hi, my name is Celine. Since you were talking about that before, I wanted to ask what are some of the most interesting cases that you've had recently?
Okay. I can talk about this until tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, so I don't want to bore anybody. I'm going to do it pretty quick, and I can always show you. I love taking pictures of cases, and I'm going to try and show you. But anyway, so today, let me try and show you. What was his name? There's many different cases. Marco, wait, I think that was his name. No, that wasn't his name. I forget this guy's name right now. I'm going to show you. Can you repeat your question real quick?
What are some of the most interesting cases you've had recently?
Interesting, yeah. I wanted to know what word it is that you chose. Okay, so interesting. I'm going to show you a case. I don't know if you guys follow us on social media and stuff, but this is a case that I put on social media a little bit ago. You asked me recent, so I'm going to show you another one, but this is a pretty good one. So I'm going to try and turn, how do I do that? Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to try and hide his face because he doesn't want me to show his face. But can you guys, I don't know if you can see that, but anyways, this is a very interesting case because are you guys able to see that or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This guy, so he doesn't have teeth in the back, and he actually, wait, sorry. So he doesn't have teeth in the back, and he needed teeth. Oh, it's a show. It's a slideshow thing. Hold on, I need to stop that. Sorry, wait. Okay, how do I do that? Hold on. Okay, so the key, okay, so this is his mouth. So he doesn't have teeth in the back here. He doesn't have teeth here. He doesn't have teeth here. So pretty much he's only able to eat with these front teeth. And then besides that, so this is kind of when he smiles, you cannot see anything. So pretty much this is a very interesting case because not only did we restore his function, he's able to eat, he was losing weight and all that stuff, but we were able to make a big impact on this person's life. Even though he's older, like in the 50s, I think it raised his self. Look at that smile. So not only from a function perspective, but also hand in hand, we were able to restore his aesthetics. So this is a very interesting case to me because it works hand in hand. He didn't come to me telling me, I want you to fix my smile. I'm self-conscious. I don't like the way I look when I talk, when I smile. He just wanted me to fix his mouth for him. But then while doing that, we were able to kind of give him a smile. So that's one of the things, one of the interesting cases that we've had. But today I had the oral surgeon who I work with, and she came to my office because we have a patient who just had a double stent heart surgery performed last year. He almost passed away. And then he came to me as a new patient last week, and his mouth is a total disaster. So many infections, so many. I'm trying to find the X-ray for you, but I can't think of his name right now. Actually, maybe. Let me just see. I'm gonna give it one more try with this name. No. Anyway, so it's very interesting because I have to work with the oral surgeon. Sorry. Okay, I think I found the X-ray. Nice. Okay, so I don't know how I remembered his name, but I did. Okay, let me show you. So do you see how he has a huge infection here? That tooth was just floating in his mouth. This tooth also. So all of these teeth on the top, and maybe all of the bottom teeth, except for this one and this one, maybe have to come out. And the thing is, he's taking a lot of blood thinners for his heart problems, so it becomes a very difficult situation to plan it up. How are we gonna give him teeth to eat? Because he cannot keep on losing weight, otherwise, you know, he's very thin, very skinny, very unhealthy. So that relates to the mouth. And I told him, you just had an open heart surgery. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm getting my life back into, you know, a healthy manner. I'm starting to eat healthy. I told him, honestly, as long as your mouth is not healthy, you can do whatever you want, but you have to take control. And so he went to see the surgeon. I do a lot of surgery, but whenever it's like a compromised patient like that, where it could be like life-threatening because of all of the blood thinners and all that, I prefer him being under the care of a surgeon to avoid any potential complication. Like I said, we're in a profession where we're able to refer these difficult cases so that I will sleep at night, so that I will not, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not gonna, I don't want to say so that I don't kill anybody, but so that there's no life-threatening complication, you know. So whenever I see a case, this is like an extreme example, but whenever there's like, for example, a root canal, whenever it's a very, very complicated root canal, there's root canal specialists for that. So then I refer them to avoid headaches, complications. So that's why I think this is the best profession ever, because you can do whatever you want. And if it's a little bit more difficult, you refer it out. Let me see, because
yeah, I think it's very important to always know what's good for your patient, and to always do that, and to recognize that sometimes that the what's best to do is to just hand over that patient to someone who do like a better job in those particular circumstances.
100%. This is one of the big tips that I can also give to the dentists out there, is that yes, you can be a hero, and I try to be a hero every day. There's sometimes teeth that cannot be saved that I try to save and stuff like that. But sometimes the best thing that you can do is not to do something. That's one of the big tips, and that you will see with experience. Sometimes, for example, if I see like a lower wisdom tooth that is completely twisted around the nerve, and yes, you know, in the beginning, I wanted to do these cases because it's fun and all that stuff. But sometimes it's not worth, and even though they may pay, let's say something crazy, $500, it's not worth $2,000, because sometimes if you do get a complication, you don't want that. So then cases like that is better to refer out. And then there was a question here that I saw. It's like, why is it that when you remove your wisdom teeth on the bottom and not at the top, your top teeth gums drop? So I'm gonna answer that. Very simple. I'm gonna try and show this image. Teeth, they're in your mouth, kind of like a puzzle. So when you have that tooth and you bite with that tooth. Whenever you have a missing tooth, the other one is gonna try and find the opposing one. So whenever you have a missing tooth, I don't know if you're able to see, but here he doesn't have a tooth. So that one already is starting to come up. So it's the same concept with wisdom teeth. This is a bad example because this mouth is not the typical mouth. But anyways, let me show you. This is also not a good example because there is no, okay. Anyways, I think you get the concept. So this is why they drop, is because whenever you remove one tooth, wisdom teeth wise, usually when, for example, when I have a patient and they have a problem in one of their wisdom teeth, 90% of the time, I recommend removing both opposing ones on one side for sure. Always, always, always. If not, let's say you have a problem on the lower wisdom tooth, you remove it and you don't do anything about the upper one, at some point it's gonna drop, and you're gonna have to have that one, you're gonna have to have it removed in the future. And to avoid that, you can do it in one procedure, have the patient heal one time to eat on the other side, and then that's it. He or she will never have to worry about that side again. Yes. Any other questions that is coming up from anyone?
How do you balance work and family life?
Okay, my balance in family life? Was that the question?
Yeah, like how do you balance work and like family?
Okay, so I'm married now. I'm a young married man, and she's not a dentist. I'm trying to make her love dentistry, but there's a limit. So whenever I leave work, you know, even though I speak with a lot of people about teeth, you have to try and kind of like tone it down a little bit, even though I dream about teeth. So balancing it, you know, now you know, I have to think about my, you know, my wife, and you cannot think about dentistry all the time. So yeah, pretty much you leave. And the beautiful thing about this profession is that it doesn't, I don't like to use the word haunt. It's not that it's haunting you, but when you leave the office, you're done, and you don't have to think about it anymore. Meaning you can if you want to, but you can do whatever you want. Like, how do I balance? A lot of times before the corona, you go out of the office, you know, you have energy, you try to go to restaurants, to concerts, you try to do fun things, and that's it. It's really the best profession ever. It doesn't drag on you. You don't have stress. Yes, sometimes the days are very difficult. It can also be difficult on your body, but it's not gonna affect anything. So yeah, I tried to play soccer like twice a week, once a week. Try to do many things. I mean, there's so many things to do. Don't be dependent on your profession. Just have a life. Try to have a life. So that's how I try to balance it. You know, I have a lot of family abroad, so I try to speak with them, even though there's a big time difference. Yes, that is my answer, I think. Anybody else? Or, okay, so I have about maybe 9 minutes left, 10 minutes, because my wife, I think, is gonna kill me otherwise. So anybody with other questions, please ask away. And otherwise, remember what I said. Really, I mean it. Feel free to come to the office whenever you want, whenever you have the time. We work every day. Sometimes yeah, I was gonna say sometimes we work on Saturdays, but the Saturdays that we work is a little bit too crazy. So I don't know. It's better not to come on a Saturday. And whatever you guys want to see, with pleasure, as you can see, I want to share because I know how difficult it is to find people that open up. I mean, I've been there trying to ask questions, even as a dentist. When I talk to colleagues or fellow specialists, a lot of times people talk down on you, or they try to make it a mystery, like an inaccessible world. Even when you talk to teachers, it's like, oh yeah, you know, don't worry, you know, you'll get to it. No, you're not gonna get to it. I want for you to get to it now. If you have questions, if you want to see how it works in my office, I wish I could show you other things, but you know, I've worked in many offices. I've worked in Europe. I've worked in all type of offices here. I've worked in HMO offices. I've worked in high volume offices. I've worked in high demand, aesthetic, very wealthy areas. So I've been all over the place. I've worked in West Palm Beach all the way, where else did I work? To Boca, Fort Lauderdale, you know, Coral Gables. I've worked everywhere. I know many people in the dental world, and I want to open that to you guys because very simple. I don't understand why people make it like a mystery or inaccessible. There is no reason for it. I think this is the best profession for me that there is, and I want to show why. I love working, and I'm very passionate about what I do, and I want to show all my tricks, and I want to show my work if you guys want to see it. I don't want to bore anybody. So that's really, I mean it. The office is open, and if I can help in whatever way, I will. Unfortunately, I'm not the one that is going to be accepting you guys in dental school. Otherwise, you know, I would let every single one of you in. But yeah, anybody else wants to add something as like a closing statement type of thing?
There was a question
Okay.
in the chat, but
Sorry?
No, there was a question in the chat, but I can read it for you if you want.
Yeah, please.
Okay, how do you deal with any lawsuit that may come with the profession?
With any what?
Lawsuit?
Okay. This is a tough, very tough question. This is the country of lawsuits, and it's okay. We all live in it, and we have to deal with it. And it's a total disaster. Anybody can sue anybody for any type of reasons, and the attorneys, yeah. So I have worked the same year when I came. This is a little bit, I'm opening up fully to all of you guys, even though I'm not seeing all of you guys. So it's a little bit of a weird thing. But one of the first practices that I worked out of, coming out of school, was it was a practice that was too good to be true. So I'm going to make this long, terrible, traumatic story very short. Long story short, there was a huge lawsuit, and I was the first year out of school, total disaster, and I was involved in it. And it was a big traumatic experience for me in my career, because one of the patients that actually decided to file a lawsuit hugged me and told me that she cried. She's like, "My God, you're the best dentist I've ever seen in my life. I'm so happy, finally, blah, blah, blah." And then when the lawsuit came, I saw her name. So just to reassure everybody, I was not involved in like a malpractice lawsuit or anything like that. It was an office that was doing fraud, care credit fraud. I don't know if anybody knows about care credit, but anyways, so how do you deal with that? You deal with that. It was a very traumatic experience. I got cleared and I got away from it. It took like a year, and it was a total disaster. You have malpractice insurance that will help you with cases of malpractice lawsuits. the lawsuit I was involved in, it wasn't only me. It was 7 dentists and the practice. And actually, the owners of the practice went to jail, and there's the mugshot, and it went on the news and stuff like that. So it was a big deal. Anyway, I'm completely clear, and there's nothing on my record, and I didn't do anything. But I had to get attorneys, and my malpractice insurance did not help me with that. So it was very traumatic. I had to find an attorney. Anyways, so besides that, how do you deal with that? Very simple. You have malpractice insurance. So you try to do things right by the patient. I've never been sued personally for anything besides this experience where I was indirectly involved in something not related to malpractice. So if you do things the right way, the malpractice insurance is going to help you. And if they don't have a case, normally the lawsuit is not going to lead anywhere. But that's why it's important to do things the right way. What I mean by that is if you do have an involved wisdom tooth, or if you do have an involved case that you don't feel comfortable doing as well as the specialist, you have to refer that case out. Even if you feel like you're comfortable, very, very comfortable, you have to read the patient. There's a lot of indirect psychology involved. Meaning, if you see that it's going to be a problematic patient, don't stress yourself. Refer out. So I don't know how to deal with lawsuits because I've never really been involved in one, but I know it destroys you, and it's a very traumatic thing. So you have to make sure you always do things the right way, and whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I mean, normally, you hear people losing their licenses and stuff like that, but that's when they usually do real damage, legit things. But if you get sued, more than likely you're going to do things the right way, so they won't have a case. And hopefully your malpractice insurance is going to help you with that. I hope this kind of answered that question, but don't get in a lawsuit, even though it's out of your control. We're in the US, and people want to sue. Then, yeah, there's a lot of people, crazy people, but yeah.
Thank you so much. So I think it was very enriching. Got to hear a lot about everything. So thank you for coming and giving us your time. We really appreciate it.
With pleasure. So yeah, I mean, anybody that wants to come can come, and otherwise, if this was a success, for sure, Maya or Alex or whoever, we can set up something else in the future. If there's demand about whatever type of thing, I'm open to try and make it happen again for sure. So I wanted to thank all of these ears out there that were willing to listen to everything I had to say. And yeah, the pleasure is really mine, and I hope it was constructive for every single one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With pleasure. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gaertner. Have a good evening.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wait, I was going to talk to you, man, but I'm trying to figure out how I turn off this virtual background. This thing is terrible. What is this? Oh, no.
I need to talk to you about Panther Connect.
Wait, I can't hear you. For some reason, because I've got my Zoom on mute on my laptop, so to stop the feedback. Let me unmute my Zoom. 3, 2, 1, talk to me.
I don't know about the Panther Connect.
Oh yeah, I can have a look right now. What's up, Nicholas? Oh, he's on the phone. He's on the phone. It's all good.
My bad. I was on the phone. What were you saying?
Nothing. I just said what's up because I saw that you were still here.
Oh yeah. Someone just called me at the end of the meeting, so I had to answer really quick.
All good, all good, all good.
Yeah.
I was just saying hi to the members, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to see people who got their cameras on, because sometimes, you know, everyone's got their camera off and it's like, show some guy, you know. I know that he was on his phone, so probably could only see like 3 people, but it's all good.
Yeah, at least he sees people like interacting and.
Yeah. I've got a lot of background noise because I have like 2 million housemates.
Bro, your house.
All right, thank you guys. See you next meeting.
Take care, buddy. See you soon. What was that, Maya?
I don't think there's ever been one meeting where your surroundings have been quiet. Every single time there has to be some type of like sound, whether it's class.
Well, I'm in the room with there's 5 of us in this room. One's doing homework with headphones on. One's playing Minecraft. One's watching Last Dance on Netflix, which is probably what you're hearing. The other one is also watching Last Dance on Netflix. So. Say that again.
I was just talking to the other people.
Oh yeah. People are just chilling there. What's up, guys? Y'all about to get kicked. I'm kidding. But yeah, in all seriousness, you guys are awesome. Anybody want to say hi before I kick you? Oh, I'm still recording. I better stop that.